Example 3. Example 3 is getting us a little bit more toward the kind of analysis that we're going to end up doing with data sets like this. So first we need to find the appropriate summary. We also need to see what the shape of the distribution is. So we're going to make a box and whisker plot here. And then we want to see what the most expected range of values is. And we also want to check for outliers. So those are the 4 parts that we're looking at here. In 2016, the U.S. women's soccer team played at least 20 games. Here were their scores. And their scores, again, are already loaded into my calculator in that order. So to find our 5-number summary, we're going to hit Stat, go right to the Calculate menu, find some one-variable stats on your list, and scroll down to the 5-number summary. So the minimum number of points that they scored in that particular season was 1. Get this up so I can read it. Quartile 1 was also 1. That does happen from time to time. Our median number of points was 2. Quartile 3 was at 4.5, and the maximum value, the highest number of points they scored, was 10. So now that we have our 5-number summary, let's make a box and whisker plot to get a look at that. So remember to get a straight edge of some sort. Set your scale between the minimum and the maximum. I'm actually going to have this start at 0, and I'm going to use 2 boxes since I have a lot of space. There's our scale. So again, our minimum value and our first quartile are both 1. Our median value was 2. And our third quartile was 4.5. So this is both the box and the minimum. And then our maximum value was 10. And so now we have an impossibly short left side and a very long looking comparatively right side. So this one looks like it is probably skewed right. We might have some outliers. So what is the most expected range of scores? Looking at that, between 1 and 4.5. You could say that's between 1 and 5 points since we're talking about points in a soccer match if you want. But this is really to set up getting our IQR, which is 4.5 minus 1, or 3.5. And now use the IQR rule to see if those 9 and 10 point games were actually outliers. So any high outliers, again, are going to be bigger than Q3 plus 1.5 times our IQR, which means that our high outliers are going to be bigger than 4.5 plus 1.5 times 3.5. So our cutoff anything higher than 9.75 could be an outlier. So the one game where they played 10, or they got 10 points, ten is a high outlier. You don't always have outliers. Sometimes you have them in one direction, occasionally in both. But we always need to check for the low as well. The low is going to be lower than Q1 minus 1.5 times your IQR. So our low outliers are going to be smaller than 1 minus 1.5 times 3.5. And since you cannot score less than 0 points in a game, negative 4.25. I mean, I suppose that you could score a goal for an own goal, and a goal for the other team, but there are no low outliers in this data set. And that's example 3.